For many beginners, a game tends to become more difficult in the endgame. There are lots of stones on the board, so it's harder to see what moves remain to be played, which moves are big. What is happening here? So in this lesson, I'm going to show you a trick that can help you with this. And we're going to count the score one more time, step by step. This is the same game that we saw in the lesson about kill threats. And this is exactly where we left off. It is Black's turn, so Black needs to find what moves are still left to be played here. And to do that, we're going to try something that I like to call the Labyrinth principle. It's like when you find yourself lost in a giant maze and you have to get out of it. How do you do it? You have to go in the same direction with your right hand to the wall and check every gap, every hole in the wall. And this is exactly what we're going to do here. It's Black's turn, so let's walk around every territory. So in this game, Black has two territories at the top and the bottom, and White has some territory on the left and in the center. Now let's walk around them with our hand to the wall and count all the gaps. The top territory for Black. We go around clockwise, just like this, no gaps here. This is the edge of the board, and we get to this. This is one gap. Okay? Now, this White's territory. No gaps here. And then this is a ko. So this is one giant gap here. The central territory. Solid wall and a gap here. Solid wall, and this is the same gap that we saw earlier. And the lower Black territory. Go from here. There's a gap right here. And one more here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 gaps. In the game, Black chose this one because it seemed like the biggest one of all 4. And Black played Atari. White captured. Black connects. White connects here. Now the second gap, this one. Black plays here. White connects. And Black continues. Again, threatening to move inside White's territory. White blocks. This move threatens a snapback. White needs to connect. Now we only have the 2 gaps on the right remaining. And by the way, you might also be looking at those 2 points between the stones, wondering if this is a gap or not. But remember, when you have some points between Black and White stones, usually they don't belong to anybody. Usually those would just be neutral points. And indeed, this is the case here. So those are the points that we'll fill at the very end. And for now, Black just played here. White blocks. Black connects. Now it's White's turn, and before playing in the last remaining gap, White played a forcing move here, threatening to cut. Black connects. And now, finally, White plays here. Black responds, and White connects. And this is it. The game is over. Now we need to count the score. And step 1 is to fill all the neutral points. Actually, this is going to be step 1 when you become a more experienced player. If you're still not quite sure about the endgame yet, you can fill all the neutral points during the game before you pass, just to be on the safe side. Right now it's White's turn, so let's say that before passing, White fills this one, Black fills this, and White fills the last remaining neutral point. Now both players pass, and we get to step 2, which is removing the dead stones off of the board. Can you see all the dead stones in this game? It wasn't too hard, was it? In this game, White captured these 3 stones. So we take them off the board. And Black had no captured stones on the board in this game. And now step 3 is to bring the captured stones back on the board, Black stones into Black's territory, and White stones into White's. So White stones go here, for example. And Black, let's say we fill these, and I'm going to leave 10 here to make it easier to count, and put the rest inside the bottom territory. Step 4, rearrange the stones inside the respective territories to make it easier to count. This territory is already perfect, 10 points, and we can move this stone here. Don't worry, there's a White stone here. We remember that all of this belongs to Black. As for White, First of all, we have 2 points over there, and we don't need them there, so we can fill that up, taking 2 stones from this territory and putting them there. And now we can move this one here, these 2 like this, and this one just remains here. And now step 5, count the score. Black has 10 points at the top, and 13 plus 2, 15 points at the bottom. That's 25. And white has 3 times 6, that's 18, minus 1, 17 points. Plus Comey, 17 plus 6.5 is 23.5 points. Black has 25, so black wins the game by 1.5 points. So when you find yourself closer to the endgame and you don't know what to do, just imagine that you're inside this labyrinth. Walk around it and find all the gaps. And once you're out of the labyrinth, just count the score in 5 easy steps. By the way, you can also watch these lessons on our platform, gomagic.org. Except there, you'll watch them with interactive quizzes right within the lessons and practical exercises right after them. And if you enjoy watching these Go videos and you don't want to miss others like this one, go smash that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and this is Go Magic.